Hello, hello. How are you doing today? Welcome to this video. My name is Ashley Casper, and I'm super excited about the content that I'm going to be sharing with you today about how to make sustainable art on an iPad or your iPhone. And I learned about digital art a few years ago. We were living in our little tiny trailer. I don't know if you know much about my past, but my husband and I, along with our 4 kiddos, were living in a 2 bedroom, 1 bath house for little trailer that my mom had left to me. Um, we were living in that for a couple of years before we were blessed with this beautiful home that we have. And hey, Janine, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, if you are tuning in live, please drop a comment. Let me know that you are here. And if you are watching the replay, please comment #replay. So we were living in that tiny home, and I was trying to pursue art as my career path and trying to figure out how I was going to make an income with it. And my husband had bought me a lot of art supplies and fully supported me 100%, made me feel super happy about that. And, but I was running out of space. Our bedroom turned into our hangout slash office slash bedroom because tiny spaces, you kind of have to have, some spaces have to serve multiple purposes. And so our tiny little bedroom, which was actually a storage building that was added on to this trailer, served that purpose. And I was running out of space. Not to mention I wasn't getting the sales like I was hoping to. So the money wasn't returning back to me. And I really wanted to figure out how could I do digital art because it seemed more sustainable. It was a way that I wouldn't have to spend a whole lot on supplies, and I could try new things without having wasted supplies. I have a hutch right here that is covered with still some supplies that I had from back when I lived in the trailer that I don't use very often. And I have a hutch over in front of me, or a bookshelf over in front of me, that has even more there. So it can get a little crazy. And maybe you're not a big artist, but every now and then you want to do something creative. This is a great way to do it if you have an iPhone or an iPad. I'm super excited. I discovered how you can actually do this on your iPhone. It's not quite as accurate, but still you can play and have some fun with it. And that's what I'm here to share with you today, is an opportunity for you to play with some art and some creative goodness without having to break the bank if you've got these tools, iPad or an iPhone. And so I'm going to share my screen really quick because the app that I'm talking about is an app called Procreate. And it can be used. Here I've got it pulled up just for the iPad version. And the current version of Procreate is supported on all of the iPad Pros, different sizes. The iPad 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th generation, the Mini 4, the iPad Air, and the iPad Air 2. I think that's all of them. I'm not big. I use Apple products, but I don't know a whole lot about them. I will say some of the research that I did read, some users with some of the older models of an iPad did struggle with some lagging and some glitches with the system. But I think overall they had a pretty good experience. But a lot of people do recommend the newer of the iPads. But I think it's definitely worth a shot, maybe, if that's something you're into. So we'll talk a little bit more about the capabilities of it as well. I do believe my app froze up. There it goes. It's catching up. It's slowly but surely catching up. And before I share that, I want to talk about the iPhone version. So the version for the iPhone is actually called Procreate Pocket. I don't have a hookup for my phone to be able to share this with you, but it is actually $5.99. I didn't talk about the iPad version is $9.99. It's a one-time purchase. And the iPhone version, which is Procreate Pocket, it is $5.99 one-time purchase. I will say that the iPhone version was actually pretty cool. I had just a stylus. Now, the Apple Pencil does not work with the iPhones, unfortunately, but I found this old random stylus, which I don't even know where I found it from. And I was playing around in the Procreate Pocket this morning, and it was a lot of fun. And there's a lot of really cool things that you can still do with that. So I recommend checking it out and just seeing, especially if you're a newbie, I think you'll really enjoy it. And I'm going to check back in the comments. If you are tuning in live, please drop a comment. Let me know who's tuning in. And Janine says, I totally understand. She said, I love Procreate. And cool. Yeah, I didn't think that they would have a version for the iPhone just because you can't use an Apple Pen with it. But it's there, and it's actually pretty cool. So I'm going to share a few things that you can do with Procreate. And what you see here on the screen is basically my library of creations within Procreate. So most of you know I've been working on a lot of coloring pages lately, so that's mostly what you see. This was kind of a watercolor. It's lagging a little bit. Hang on, there we go. Okay, so this was a watercolor and a little digital sketch. So I kind of made a coloring page in a sense first, and then I colored in with some watercolor brushes. So inside of Procreate, you have all of these different brushes that you can use. I've even learned to make a few brushes, which you can learn on TikTok really easily. They're a lot of fun. I've purchased some brushes before. This watercolor brush that I actually used in this image, I purchased from someone on TikTok that has some really awesome brushes, and it's so cool the way that they interact with each other. It's so much like watercolor. And I may save that for another video to kind of review those brushes and share them with you because they're really cool. One of the other things that you can do with Procreate is create animations. Now, I'm not a pro at animation creation, but I have had a lot of fun playing around with it. And this is just one that I have created that I played around with. And you can see it's not anything super fancy, but it's fun and it's pretty cool. I've created a few. Let me go back. This one was another one. I don't remember if I finished this one or not. And it's lagging again. The animations are a lot of fun. They do take a lot of time, but they're a lot of fun to play with. And these were really basic. So you see, I'm just using pretty basic shapes in these animations. I have not gotten complicated with like, body movement or anything like that. But so, and what I really like about, let me stop sharing because that's really distracting now. What I like about Procreate also is that you can layer. So layering, if you are a watercolor, for example, sometimes a watercolor brush may engage with another brush in a way that you don't want it to. So if you have two different layers, you can do a watercolor on one layer and then you can draw over it on another without those brushes blending. Like there is some of that happens even digitally, which I think is so cool. So that was that. So I really just wanted to give you kind of a top level view of Procreate, and at least share those apps with you. If you have kids that like art, these apps are a lot of fun. I did want to show you one other thing. There is a free app on the iPad. I have not found one for the iPhone yet. I'm sure there are some. I just didn't spend a whole lot of time looking. But another app that I love that is free is an app called Artset. And let me go back to, so this is actually something that I created inside of Artset. Janine, if you enjoy Procreate, I think you'll really like Artset as well. There are some brushes within Artset that work a little more realistically than some of the standard brushes do inside of Procreate, which I really didn't expect with a free program. The watercolor and the pastels, I believe, are the two that I really enjoy working with inside of Artset. They blend together really cool. So that's another app that I would recommend that's free, especially if you have kiddos. You can even change, like I love this one because you can really change the texture. And there's ways you can add texture in Procreate, but that's, a little bit more detailed that I may go over some tutorials on stuff like that later. Let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. And so let me get back to the comments. Janine said, "Oh, you'll have to share the brushes." Okay, yeah, I'll definitely do that. I think reviewing some of the purchase brushes would be really cool. And yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about that, Janine. I've created stamps before, and that's actually one of the things that I've sold in my Etsy shop. And that's one of the cool things about digital. Like, you can sell pretty much anything that you make digitally. So if you get to where you're, playing in here, like I've had this iPad for about 5 years now, 4 years maybe. And I've just played around with it. And that's the best way that I think you can learn when it comes to creative, is just playing and finding different ways of using different brushes to do different effects that you enjoy. And there's a lot of satisfaction in it. And so Janine, I'm thinking that was your response to the animations. The animations are really cool. And it's basically like creating, and that's what I like about the animations, is it's basically like creating different layers. And so it's easy when those layers are layered on top of each other, so you can see what's underneath and redraw it or adjust it just a little bit on that top layer. It can get a little confusing when you're looking at it, but you can see the two images, so you can see how they're going to move as the animation goes. And that stuff I'll get into, and once I get a little bit more experience with it too, and share that with you guys. So the other thing on the agenda was that the new Ashley's Creative Stash is updated. There are still more updates going to it, but I wanted to go ahead and get it live so that you guys would understand the new navigation that I have and what to expect, because there's exciting stuff coming. And so I need to stop share and redo my presenting screen here so I can get to the right website or the right screen. Here we go. All right, here is the new Ashley's Creative Stash. I want to make sure you can see it. Okay, yeah. So this is once you get in. So the capture page still looks the same. So if you go to ashleyscreativestash.com, you'll see the where you can register to get access to this. And then the link to get to this will be sent to your email address. So anywho, I've got a Facebook group that's going to be connected to just coloring, where you can share your coloring goodness. And then I've got lots of new categories that we're going to do. So I've been doing the Grow Rich quotes. So you can see I've got most of those here, and actually all of those here that I've published, but I have more that I want to add to that. I've got a Butterfly Bliss where we have butterfly theme pages, and all of these categories will be growing. Not all of them have something in it right now. If it doesn't, it just says coming soon. So I'm still working on a lot of pages to add here. The High Vibe Hive sample has been updated. There are more pages to this book, but you will find out soon how you can access the whole book. And then of course you can just scroll down here to see the most recent. So if you've already downloaded all of them and you just want the most recent, you'll be able to just scroll down to the bottom and see the last 8 that were updated. And like I said, I've got more announcements coming for what's going to be offered inside of Ashley's Creative Stash. So if you want to get in on that now, you can visit Ashley's Creative Stash.com and go ahead and register with your name and email address. Like I said, the link to access all the pages that I have so far will be emailed to you. You want to bookmark that page, save it, check back often, and then I'll also email with any updates as they get done as well. which there will be a lot of updates. So I won't email you every single update, but in my emails that I send out regularly, I will include updates until everything kind of gets settled down. So I'm super excited about all of the changes that are happening over there, and I hope you are too. Janine says, whoop, whoop, love it. And Janine said, exactly. It's the same way with your iPhone. You just have to play with it. Yeah, absolutely. That's very true, Janine. Is the best way to learn any new piece of technology is to just get in there and play around with it, explore, and ask questions. That's what I'm here for. So if I can help with anything, don't hesitate to message me in Messenger. I may not reply immediately, but I will be happy to assist you as quickly as I possibly can. And that's it for today, guys. I'm really thankful that you joined me, and hope you enjoyed this. Hope you got some value from it. And I will see you guys on Wednesday with the next topic. Talk to you soon. Bye.